Hello, my name is Jewel, and this is part of a series of videos based on my book entitled When You Lose a Loved One. Today I'm shifting the focus off the people who have lost a loved one, that is the bereaved, onto the friends and family, those who find themselves around such people. And usually it is common to hear some of such people say things like, I do not know what to do to support him. I do not know what to do to support her. They are totally at a loss as to what exactly they can do to help ease the pain of their friend. So I'm going to share a few pointers as to what you could do to support a friend or a loved one who is grieving a loss. Now, they are pointers. This is not a formula. This is not a set of hard and fast rules of what you should do to support a loved one. We are all different, and so we respond differently to tragedy and to loss, and even to the supports that people offer. But as I said, they are pointers nonetheless. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want to share is this: that pray for them. And I touched on this in the previous video, but I'm going to emphasize and sit on this point today. The Bible tells a very interesting story in Mark chapter 2 verses 3 to 5. It tells the account of four friends who brought their paralyzed friend to Jesus to be healed. Now when they got to Jesus, to where Jesus was, because of the crowd, they couldn't get to him through the door. And so they decided that, look, at all costs our friend has to be healed, has to meet Jesus today. And so they went, climbed on top of the roof of the house, dug out a few towels, and then lowered their friend in front of Jesus. And verse 5 says something very interesting, that Jesus, seeing the faith of these friends, proceeded to heal this paralyzed man. The best thing, the most powerful thing you can do for a friend that is grieving is to bring them before Jesus. In prayer. Is to call upon God on their behalf. You see, even if you have had a similar experience with this person, we are all different, and I've said this several times. We are all different, and because of our differences, we see and process and feel pain very differently. Now, God knows them. God understands them. God knows exactly what will soothe their pain and bring them comfort. And so when you bring them before God, you are asking God to step into the situation and to do for them what you might not be able to do for them. All right. So it's an absolutely powerful thing. I don't want you to ever discount the power of prayer. Instead of talking about it so much, how's she going to? I feel so bad about this, my friend. Look, you spend that time praying for the person. Spend that time bringing that person before God. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. It makes tremendous power available to your friend in this time of their need. So point number 1 is to pray for them. And I'd like to add that as you pray, please be open. Be open to whatever God leads you to do specifically to support your friend. He might lay something on your heart, impress something on you to do as you're in a place of prayer, and it's a very powerful thing. So by all means, pray for your friend. Pray for them. And it doesn't have to always be private. When you go to them, after you have talked with them, visited with them, you can say, look, I want us to pray. And then right then, to their hearing, pray for them. You can call them, pray for them. Make prayer a constant during the time of your friend's loss or grief. Now, point number 2 is be present. You see, Job's friends got certain things wrong. They didn't get everything right as far as comforting Job was concerned. But this is something they got right. When you read Job chapter 2 verse 11, it says that when 3 of Job's friends heard of the tragedy he had suffered, they got together and traveled from their homes to comfort and console him. Now these were prominent men, prominent men, but they left everything. They dropped everything and took time off to go and then to visit their friend who had, suffered such tragedy. And it was a very powerful thing to do. It was a very powerful. Your presence, just showing up, just taking time off your schedule to visit your friend means a lot. It means a lot. Now verse 13 also says something interesting, that then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to Job, for they saw that his suffering was too great for words. They went to visit him and sat in silence for 7 days. Who says that you must have a brilliant theological sermon for your friend before you visit them? Sometimes just going there and then just sitting, just being there, letting them know that, look, I'm just here with you. I'm here with you. I don't know what to say, but I'm here with you. It speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. Now you may not, I know there are instances where it is not possible to be physically present, but you can keep in touch. You can keep in touch. You can call. You can send text messages. You can send uplifting quotes, uplifting messages, uplifting music. You can keep in touch with them. You can let them know, I'm praying for you. Text them, I'm praying for you. You are in my thoughts and my prayers are with you. I'm thinking about you today. Is there anything I can do to help you with? Just let them know that they are on your mind. You are concerned for them. You are thinking of them. You are praying for them. Just keep in touch. If you cannot be physically present for one reason or the other, keeping in touch is a very powerful thing to let them know that you are with them in this time of their pain. But by all means, don't stay away and say that, I don't know how I'm going to face him. I don't know how I'm going to face her. I don't know what I'm going to say to her. I don't know what I'm going to say to him. So you don't go at all. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Be present. Be present. It speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. Now, point number three is to listen. Listen. The biblical admonition to be quick to listen and slow to speak is very, very, very useful in such a time. Don't be in a hurry to try to fix them, try to offer explanations to what has happened, and at all costs don't say things like, oh, you could have, you should have, why didn't you, you could have easily done. Don't say things like that. Don't say, they are among the worst things you can say to a person that is grieving. Among the worst things you can say to a person that is grieving. Already I've mentioned in a previous video that they are probably battling some guilt, some of which might be unfounded over the loss of their loved one. So you're going there to remind them of what they could have and should have done does not help. It does not help. As much as possible, listen to them. Listen to them with empathy and listen to them with respect for what they are going through. Even if you have been through a similar experience, it is not the same. It is not the same. So don't assume that you understand it and go there offering, advice. You should do this, you shouldn't do that, you should no. Listen with empathy and respect. If they are talking and going on and they are beginning to be unreasonable, or they are having a very unbalanced view of things, gently encourage them to look at things in a more balanced way. But don't go trying to fix them and feeling like you have to be talking all the time while you are with them. Yes, so that's point number 3. Listen. Just listen to them. Now, point number 4 is to relieve them of as much as you can. Relieve them of as much as you can. Now, ideally, people who have suffered loss should have some time and space to process what they are going through, ideally. But sometimes life does not, make it possible or make it practical to have that time and space to do that. And so when you step in, either to offer support in terms of domestic affairs or running errands, or relieving them of their daily responsibilities, it is a big blessing to them. It is a big blessing to them. It helps take some of the weight off so that they are freer to process, freer to come to terms with what they are going through. it's a big blessing to step in to take certain responsibilities off them so that they are relieved. It is a big blessing, especially in the days following, immediately after the loss. It's a big blessing where you're able to do that for them. Another thing you could do is to offer support in kind. So, I shopped for you. You bring it to them so that they don't have to think about what they are going to eat, going to the market. Oh, I brought some water. I've realized you'll be receiving a lot of guests, so I brought some water to help with that. It's a big blessing. Oh, I'd like to support with this, and here's an envelope to help with that. I'd like to help you with that. Here's an envelope. It is a big blessing. It is a big blessing. If you can, by all means, support them in an act of service or in kind. It is a big blessing to somebody that is grieving. Point number 5 is this. If there are children, get involved. If there are children, get involved. You see, being a mother and a father to any child is not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. And so it is very comforting when people step in and express concern or offer some support with children if there are any. It's a big blessing. I remember I had a colleague at work, an elderly man, and he was a foreigner. He asked me one time about the names of my boys, and I told them Kekeli and Sedina. And since then, that man would consistently ask. After asking, how are you doing today? He would go on to ask, how are Kekele and Sedina? How is Kekele doing? How is Sedinam doing? They're probably running around, right? Are they in school? That spoke volumes to me. That this man had taken the pains to remember the names of the children and wasn't referring to them as how's the older one, how's the smaller one, and things like that. It meant a lot that he could actually remember, the names of the children. So if there are kids involved, find out what their names are and ask of them. It says a lot, just asking of them. How is baby Kekeli? How is Sedinam? How is Ajwa? How is Baba? How are they doing? Are they in school yet? It's a blessing when people ask or show concern for the children that are involved in the tragedy. And related to that, if there's any way you can engage those kids, I think it's a blessing. Engage those kids, be involved in their lives. It's such a powerful blessing. You see, I want to share this. My boys are 2 days apart in terms of their birthdays, okay? 2 days apart. My older child was born on 3rd December and the second was born on 1st December. And so after having my second child, I was in the hospital on the 2nd and on the 3rd, which would have been the 3rd birthday of my older child. I couldn't be home. I was still in the hospital. And my family was also preoccupied with, providing support for me. There was a new baby and all that. So I was at the hospital missing my older child's birthday when a dear friend from church called just to check on us. So how are you doing? How's the baby? Oh, we're fine. We're doing well. And I mentioned, today's even Kekeli's birthday. I was like, oh, really? I was like, yes. And I had been thinking that, after I'd been discharged and everything, we'd do something small at home to mark his birthday. You know what these friends did? They also have little kids of their own. They went to a shop, bought a cake, got a bottle of wine, got a balloon, and then went home. And then went and did happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Had my little boy cut cake, popped champagne, took pictures, took a video and sent it to me in the hospital. I will never forget it. I will never forget it. It meant so much to me that I couldn't be there. The father was no more. And these friends stepped in and did for my child what I couldn't do for him at that time. It was such a blessing to me. Such a blessing to me. And so step in. I mean, if you can be involved with their children, expressing concern, inviting them to your own parties, planning joint trips and stuff like that, they are an amazing way of offering support to somebody who has lost a loved one. Yes, who has lost a loved one. And then the final thing is to just, remember them on significant occasions. Remember them on their birthdays, on Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, just a call or a text or a gift if you can. Oh, it's your birthday, happy birthday, God bless you, let me pray with you. Oh, here's a little gift. It speaks volumes to them. On occasions like this, the loss is usually felt more than on ordinary days. And so when people take the time off to remember you on such occasions, it helps to ease the pain. And it communicates love in a very tangible way. Communicates love and concern in a very tangible way. Yes, and that brings me to the end of my list. Hopefully, I have given you some ideas, some inspiration as to how to support a friend or a family member who is going through a difficult time because of a loss in their lives. And as you step in for them, as you go out of your way to show them love and concern and to support them, may God bless you. May God bless you so much. Thank you for joining me today. God bless you, and may He teach us what it means to grieve with hope.